Detailed on Monday in the official Activision Games blog post regarding Call of Duty and the week ahead, we learned a little bit about a few things that were scheduled for this week within Modern Warfare. A new map, a new operator, and things alike. One last push essentially for Season 2 before all things were said and done and we moved on to the next chapter of the game's life cycle. Now, oddly enough, that update was already meant to be later than things we normally see. Most updates go live around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesdays. But the initial plan for this week's update was to roll out the new operator with the timed shop items that would just happen on rotation as literal clockwork at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday, but not have the actual update, the downloadable game version 1.18, drop until 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, a whole 13 hours later than that update that we normally would see. But if you've played in the last 2 days or so, you probably realized that we haven't had to download anything. In that span, I've gotten a ton of comments asking if people were missing anything or what the story was, to which you may have saw on your mobile feeds that I did write a little bit about this, but it may not have reached all of you, so figured we'd talk about it in video today. I want to discuss with you the reasoning behind the delay of update 1.18 and what implications, if any, this may have on the launch of Season 3 coming up the week after next. So as we go along, let me know your thoughts below. What are you hoping to see come out of this update, and when do you think it will drop? As well, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't done so already to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare and Warzone on a daily basis. So, like we said, it was originally intended for the scheduled update to go out on 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but that shop refresh earlier in the day at the standard 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Neither of those things happened, though, which was later announced that it was officially delayed. It wasn't something that just didn't go out or the rollout was going incredibly slow. Infinity Ward actually tweeted out saying tonight's scheduled title update is being delayed and is set to release in the coming days. This update includes our new operator, Talon, new free modes, and our next free multiplayer map, Condor Hideout. Please stay tuned for more details and updates on release timing. Now, outside of just confirming that, well, you didn't miss anything and it was actually officially delayed, there's a little bit of some careful wording here with this one. Firstly, the big part being scheduled, which to me makes me believe that it is actually done and it's something that is kind of out of their control. Kind of echoes what I've heard as well, asking around before this was officially announced. Meaning that my initial thought comes down to this may be a Sony and Microsoft thing and not being able to verify the update in time. With the entire world sort of shut down or transitioning to working from home, it's entirely possible that that shift from office to homework, my assumption again being more of the first party verification team, especially because we had a targeted specific time frame that we knew the update would be going out. It wouldn't just be something that we knew a Tuesday update was coming. It was a very specific time of 11 p.m. Pacific Standard. But I guess it as well could apply to anybody. We don't have that official information on if the update just wasn't ready or if it just wasn't verified in time. But whatever the case may be, it's no doubt just kind of a weird time for all things. The productivity of all parties is probably limited due to resources just not being available outside of the office, in the comfort of living rooms and home offices. So nonetheless, it's been officially confirmed that it's coming in the next few days. The other stuff we can learn here out of the wording of this is that, of course, we will have a title update, so it is going to be something that is going to need to be downloaded. My guess is, again, likely 10 to 12 gigabytes. That seems to be the standard sizing of regularly scheduled updates, not anything like Warzone, where if you don't have the game, it's 80 gigabytes or something like that. And we also know that we'll, of course, get that operator, Talon, his doggo companion, as a part of that execution and finishing move, the 2 weapon blueprints and some tier skips coming along with that bundle. We also know we'll be getting Condor Hideout, the new 6v6 map for MP, and thus capping off the season's map offerings for traditional multiplayer. We'll see the introduction of new modes that we previously theorized were Demolition, a returning mode that we saw mentioned in the very beginning of the season, only in the launch day blog post, and haven't seen mentioned or introduced since then. But one other thing that the wording of this tweet makes me consider is that the free modes they mention may actually deal not only just with Demolition, but also perhaps different matchmaking queue types in Warzone, the actual free version of Modern Warfare, or the section of Modern Warfare that's free. We know duos, quads, and fives have all been mentioned by studio head Pat Kelly in pre-release interviews, so maybe one of those comes. We saw solos introduced as of last week, so maybe the next update follows that trend of introducing another one also. But along with that, I'd expect those technical changes we've discussed in the past for both MP and Warzone to be coming, but those things aren't ever explicitly mentioned until the patch notes hit the market. But the big thing, though, coming down to when this may be delayed to is the timing of it. This could be really any point over the weekend now. I was hesitant to kind of discuss this video today because it was possible that maybe today was that release day. But having gone past now 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, it seems like we're not going to get the update today. Tomorrow is still a likely candidate. Friday is a standard release timetable for content in the past outside of the usual suspect of Tuesday releases, but with an update being delayed, it might be something they just try and release it as early as possible, so it may not adhere to standard marketing release dates. The bright side of all this is the content is here and likely coming over the weekend, and again, given the current nature of the world, your weekend may be devoid of any plans or scheduled events, so this can be something that helps us pass the time. The downside is we just don't know definitively when it will actually come. But as always, we'll keep you updated here when it does drop, what changes, all that good stuff. But the big question outside of this that may be a buzzing question now for many, but we may not want to actually ask it for fear of the outcome of the answer, is this going to delay Season 3? Because Season 3 is only 11 days and a few hours and change away. That being something that introduces a couple of more multiplayer maps, a new operator presumably, new officer challenges, a rank reset, and a new level 155 reward to grind out to, a new battle pass with new weapons, new customization items, and all those things in those 100 tiers, maybe some new Spec Ops content and all things like that. So it's a larger update that players are likely looking forward to, especially given the fact that realistically over the past couple of weeks, multiplayer outside of a couple of game modes added in has, I feel like neglected is a harsh term, but I mean, it's kind of been neglected. There really hasn't been all that much introduced outside of a new shotgun that realistically isn't all that great. Probably isn't getting all that much attention compared to other weapons. And so for players that don't like Warzone, that don't really care for the recent introductions, they're looking for something new. I think realistically, you could approach this question of, is it going to be delayed from either side? Yes, it could be delayed. No, it couldn't. Personally, I think in my own belief that we've seen a specified update time previously with this. They said 11 p.m., an oddly specific time for that to come out. The assets for what was going to be introduced have been done in the game files for a long time. I think that this was a first-party platform verification issue, to which I don't think this delay was on their end. I don't think this is going to affect anything in the longer, bigger picture of Modern Warfare, including Season 3. I don't think it delays anything in that regard. It's just an unfortunate setback for one checkpoint, but not all. And if that's the case on the side of Infinity Ward, it's genuinely just business as usual, and they're on their way to delivering and finalizing everything we'll be seeing with Season 3 in, again, just about 11 days' time. I suppose oppositely, you could say, well, maybe it is entirely Infinity Ward's fault. Maybe the update that they were working on just was not ready. Maybe this then shifts the entire timetable of what we'll see with releases, to which, if that's the case, we'll probably likely know for sure in the coming days. Maybe not necessarily this weekend, but if that's the case, Monday with the normal blog post that usually goes out on Activision talking about the week ahead for all active titles in the Call of Duty franchise, they'll probably say something, or Infinity Ward themselves will put out something saying, hey, like Season 1, we're going to be extending by about a week's time. I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case, but the problem is that we won't really ever know. We won't know, especially with this case, whose air quote fault it was. It was something was a setback in dev, to which the update wasn't ready on the studio side, or if it was something that just Sony and Microsoft didn't have the ability to verify the update in time for the intended target time of, again, 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesday. We won't know, and I don't think we'll ever get that conveyed to us on which side was air quote at fault, which kind of is a bummer because it brews malcontent and distrust potentially for the wrong parties. There's a lot of things that I wish the studios could be open with, but of course that's probably one of the things that's on a big no-no list, is that you can't really throw the platform that you're publishing your update on under the bus. That doesn't seem like that would work out very well for PR, for legal, so that sort of stuff is just off the table. So as great as it would be to know exactly where that air quote fault would lie, we're never gonna know. But ultimately, that's kind of where we're at here with this. Do I expect there to be a delay on Season 3? Personally, no, but of course, time will tell. If something does pop up, I'd expect that maybe Monday or so to be officially announced, but I'm not really expecting it to be the case. The update, though, in terms of when you can expect it, again, Infinity Ward said the coming days, so I would expect with it not happening today, maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, but just sometime this weekend. I wouldn't expect them to actually hold off until this upcoming Tuesday to be the final week of Season 2. I don't think they'll push that back that far. I think with something being delayed like this, again, it is something they want to make sure they get out as soon as possible, so just keep your eyes open for all of that. But that's where we're going to wrap it up. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments comment section down below. Firstly, do you think it is something that was a first-party verification thing, like my theory here? Do you think it's something that they didn't have it done in time? And also, when do you think we'll be seeing it? What day out of the weekend do you expect this to be coming? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare and Warzone updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. We got you covered here on the channel. So if any of that interests you, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. I live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. So let's send that out of the way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Minus the espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.